Call to order this special meeting of the Fitchburg Conservation Commission for April 9th, 2025 at 1:03 p.m. The commission requests that anyone wishing to speak approach the podium and speak clearly into the microphone. Remote attendees should maintain microphones on mute for privacy. If you wish to speak, use the raise your hand function to alert the agent of your intention to comment. The commission requests comments be limited to no more than 5 minutes in the interest of time. Meetings of this commission are subject to and abide by the open meeting law. Please be advised this public meeting is being recorded by FATV. If a member of the in-person audience is recording this meeting, please identify yourself for the record. There being none, at this time, please put all devices in silent mode. And I will call the roll of commissioners in attendance. Commissioner Christian?
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Donnelly is not here today. Commissioner Pelletier?
Here.
Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Here.
Commissioner Wallace?
Here.
And Commissioner Jacobs here. Also in attendance today is Conservation Agent Herlin Jamie. And we will proceed right to our item on the agenda, which is Mac Pro LLC, single family dwelling, 0 Mechanic Street, lots 1, 2, and 3. This is continued from our last week's meeting of 4/2/2025. And at this time, we will open the public hearing for lots 1, 2, and 3 combined. Just to bring everyone up to date, we did not get the peer review until actually April 2nd, the afternoon of our meeting. So there was no way that anybody could review the material. It was not then scheduled on that agenda. Now we've had a week to sort of digest all the information and the results of the peer review, so thus our meeting for today. I would like to comment that the peer review was provided by Graves Engineering by Mr. Jeff Walsh, Principal and PE for Graves Engineering. And at this time, Herlin, if you could, would you like to summarize the report for the peer review?
Sure. So I'm just going to read off the typed summary that I wrote, if that's okay with everybody. So the Conservation Commission received various documents related to the proposed residential development project on Mechanic Street in Fitchburg. These included site development plans, drainage analysis, and stormwater management plans. And Graves Engineering, Inc. was tasked with reviewing the plans for compliance with the local wetlands regulations, stormwater management standards, and then general engineering practices. So for the construction sequence, GEI recommends that a detailed construction sequence be added to the plans, and I also agree with that. I think we've done it in the past with other projects, so that recommendation doesn't seem too far off fetched to what we require naturally. For the hydrology and the stormwater, GI reviewed the hydrology computations and found them satisfactory. The project is located near Fulua Brook, a cold water fishery, but the Mass DP Stormwater Handbook does not apply due to the distance. The proposed detention basin and roof runoff recharge systems are considered compliant. So that means that they are satisfactory as well. The site design and stabilization, so there's a proposed 2-to-1 slopes, and they're acceptable. 2-to-1 is usually 50% slope in layman's term, and it's horizontal, vertical, for those who don't know the acronyms. A construction detail on sheet 4 needs correction to specify the 2-to-1 slope instead of the 1.5-to-1 slope. To minimize erosion, GEI recommends bulk grading and stabilization of slopes and detention basins before dwelling construction begins. So basically the sequence, again, with erosion control measures in place around the dwellings. The design engineer also advised to consider adjusting the Lot 3 driveway to allow for a safer vehicle turning and forward motion exit instead of what was proposed originally. And that's basically it for the review of the peer review for this project.
Thank you very much, Helene, and we will accept the report as read and enter it into the record.
Madam Chair, may I just ask one question?
Yep. I'm going to go to the commission for comments, please.
You were explaining the 2-to-1 ratio for slope. Are you saying they increased the slope horizontally, or they decreased it to make it more of a slope?
No, they proposed a 2-to-1. Bill Hannigan is online, and I think that their standard is 3. Is it 3-to-1, Bill? Can you verify that?
Oh, the detail on the plan showed a 1.5-to-1 slope.
Correct.
We're proposing a 2-to-1 slope, which is less, it's more shallow. So a 2-to-1 slope is what is better than a 1.5-to-1 slope. So
it's now less steep.
It's less. The 2-to-1 is less steep than 1.5-to-1. And so the details stated 1.5-to-1. The plans showed 2-to-1. So we had to update the detail to reflect what was on the plan.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go back to you in a moment. I'm going to take any comments from the commission first.
Absolutely.
Any other, Commissioner Christian, I know one of the concerns you had was, the water and the stormwater runoff, and based on the peer review, the hydrology computations appear to be in order. Do you have any additional questions about that?
No.
Okay. Do we have any other commissioners with questions? I think I'm good with, I did speak to Mr. Walsh and went over his report and how he came to these conclusions, and everything appeared to be in order, and I was, pretty happy with his response. So there being none, Mr. Hannigan, I'll let you go first. Would you like to comment on what you feel about the peer review?
Yes. I'm trying to get to the point where I can share my screen.
Oh,
but,
sorry. Let me see if I
it's
can.
not letting me.
Let me give you privileges, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Just bear with me. You should have them now.
All right. Okay, so now I can share. So the rendering that we had before, this site plan has essentially remained the same, with the exception of this is where we changed the turnaround on the driveway per the peer review's recommendation. We also have a comment response letter that we had submitted for the review, and relative to the construction sequence. Our response basically has that construction sequence listed on the plans, and we've taken that construction sequence and added it to the plans from this letter. So in general, we would have the pre-construction meeting. We'd flag and stake the limits of clearing and erosion control locations from a survey perspective. The tree cutter would go in and cut the trees and brush to the limits of clearing, leaving the stumps and root balls in place. Then from there, we would install the erosion control. That way the erosion control doesn't get damaged during the tree cutting and clearing process. Once that was inspected, we would then be able to have the contractor go in and start clearing and removing the stumps and roots. And stockpiles would be created for both the materials, the loam that is recaptured, along with the stumps, which I would presume would be ground. So that would be done either on site or off site, but that's something we could talk to Tim about. And then from there, we'd work on the earthwork. We basically would set up the site, bring up everything to an approximate finished grade outside the building pad areas, and we would be at the same time creating those slopes. Construction of the detention basin would be happening at the same time. installation of those utilities associated with the detention basin, et cetera, would be part of that. We would install permanent stabilization for the slopes and disturbed areas outside the building pad areas. So that would be when we would put in the loam and seed and the slope plantings, along with any jute matting that would be required, depending upon how we handle that with the inspection with the agent. So we would then provide temporary stabilization measures between the building pad areas and the stabilized areas so that there wouldn't be any carryover slope erosion from the construction of the houses themselves. The construction of the buildings would be performed in an orderly fashion while maintaining the stabilized areas. The connection of utilities to the buildings performed in an orderly fashion while maintaining stable areas. That those connections to the utilities would be through the street. And then final construction would include appropriate landscaping around the buildings, final stabilization of the disturbed areas, mainly the building pad areas with loam and seed, and then throughout the whole process, we would be checking and inspecting the stabilized slope to make sure that there weren't any problems with that along the way. So what we've done is we've added that sequence to the plan set in this area here. So that same language is on the plans right here. So now we've satisfied the comment by providing that information in the letter, adding it to the plans as well. Second comment was regarding the drainage, which we basically acknowledged that. The third comment was relative to stormwater management with respect to the DEP stormwater management requirements, which is we don't rise to that level. We do have stormwater management under the ordinance, which we'll be working with the DPW on, but we basically designed the site to comply with that. The general condition, or general comments, I'm sorry, this is where we talked about the 2-to-1 slope. 2-to-1 slopes are acceptable. And then he has the next comment is that the slope detail said 1.5-to-1 versus 2-to-1. So that slope detail was in here, stabilized planting slope. We had written 1.5-to-1, but they're actually 2-to-1. So we've changed that detail to reflect that. Okay. The next comment, number 6, is I think that comment's about how to build the site, which goes right to our construction sequencing. And I believe that the construction sequencing in general follows this same method of construction where we would do the bulk grading of the site, including the slopes, the drainage system, set up the building pads, get the slope stabilized, and then from there, build the houses. So that's, I believe we've summarized that in comment number 1, the response to comment number 1. Comment number 7 was about the driveway and the location of the driveway versus, I think the turnaround was down in this area here, and putting up in this area here allows a vehicle to come in, go into the garage, then back out and come into the street versus backing out onto the street, which makes sense. We had provided those with on the other 2 lots, so that makes sense. And then obviously they couldn't get into the wetlands regulations because that's what we're dealing with the commission on. But so we provided this response letter at the last meeting. We submitted that. I believe that all the questions from the peer reviewer have been reviewed and have been incorporated into the plan. We submitted an updated set of site plans as well, both physically and electronically, which show the information regarding the site layout and grading. This was really unchanged. And then all the construction details for the project construction for both utility and drainage and grading. So with that, we would address any questions that the commission may have.
Mr. Hannigan, thank you very much, and thank you for adopting the recommendations from the peer review. And I will go to the commissioners for any comments or questions for Mr. Hannigan. Okay, there being none, I will open the floor to public comment. Mr. Adams, would you like to make any comments today? Okay, thank you. Yes, go right ahead, Herlin.
I'm sorry, Bill, did you have a proposed area for staging for this project?
The staging area, as we said, we'd go in and we would build the slope, and the staging area would probably end up being, in these areas of the building pad, depending upon which building was built first. I think it would make sense to have the staging area up on lot 1, and then build lot 3, and then move to lot 2, and then to lot 1, basically to bring the slope up as you're coming in on the building pads.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Tim is online to comment on that, or whether he agrees with that, but I think that that's a logical progression. So we could add that as a condition, that we would stage construction materials for the house construction, stage them on lot 1 for the construction of lot 2 and 3. And I think that that's relatively straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah, we may have some of that addressed in our possible conditions, but we can modify that a little bit as you're comfortable with, Herlin.
Sure.
Okay. If Commissioner Christian has no questions either, I'm going to move to, we have developed, as we have gone along, the proposed order of conditions, and these would apply to all 3 lots. I'm going to summarize those for the record. Any conditions that we would approve with an order of conditions would always include our standard order of condition. In addition, under the authority granted in the Fitchburg Wetlands Ordinance, the following additional special and perpetual conditions would apply. And a lot of these came from the recommendation from the peer review and information that we have gathered on site visits and from previous hearings. Special condition number 1 is, as stated in the general notes, no stockpiling of material in areas subject to the jurisdiction of the Fitchburg Wetlands Ordinance without prior approval of the conservation agent. And Herlin, that may address your question that you just had, that wherever they stockpile, you're going to need to sign off on that. Mr. Hannigan, is that acceptable?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 2, all fill materials shall be certified by the site/project manager to be clean fill and free of undesirable materials and debris. And if anybody has any questions as we go along, we'll either review it at the end or just, stop me as we go along while we're on that item. Item number 3, to minimize the potential for erosion, stabilization of the site slope is required before beginning any construction. The developer shall perform bulk gradings of all lots, construct the slopes and the detention basin number 1, and stabilize the slopes and detention basin in accordance with the construction details on sheets 2, 3, and 4 of the plan before construction gets underway of all dwellings. Again, this was part of the peer review that was recommended and adopted in the sequence provided by Mr. Hannigan. Item number 4, dwelling foundations as part of the bulk grading phase would be allowed, but lumber deliveries and building framing shall not occur until the slopes and detention basin are constructed and stabilized. The areas around the building, such as front yards, level areas beside and behind the dwellings, and up to 15 feet beside and behind the dwellings where slopes are present, could be left unstabilized to allow for dwelling construction, provided erosion control stocks are placed in accordance with the stabilized planting slope detail on sheet 4 of the plan. Item number 5, for fill placed in the rear slope area, a report shall be provided weekly to the conservation agent showing the area of work, estimated current compaction results, and the current estimated elevation in that area. Item number 6, final compaction report shall be provided when the site reaches planned elevation to include testing method and certification that the 90% dry density has been achieved as detailed in the plan. Item number 7, City of Fitchburg wetland markers to be spaced no more than 50 feet apart and location to be confirmed with the agent. Item number 8, slope stabilization planting as detailed on page 4 of the plan. Item number 9, a full printed copy of the operation and maintenance plan shall be provided to the responsible parties post-construction. And we move on to perpetual conditions, wetland markers to remain in place permanently and replaced as needed. Item number 2 here, a homeowners association shall be formed to include the 3 building lots created by this project, the maintenance required by the stormwater operations and maintenance plan shall be performed as noted in the plan. Funding for the annual and periodic maintenance shall be established through the homeowners association and through contributions made on a periodic basis by the landowners of the building lots created in this project. Item number 3, stormwater operation and maintenance and pollution prevention plan labeled number 3280 SWMP operation and maintenance, 10 pages shall be recorded with this order of condition at the North Worcester County Registry of Deeds. And item number 4, any detention basin or stormwater management outlets to remain in perpetuity with no encroachments, no fill or debris allowed in and around the areas of the basins and outfall. We have a pretty extensive list, but does anyone have, Herlyn, do you have any questions? Want to start and work our way down?
Sure, I just have one question. Has it been decided that this is going to be rental units? The association part, I thought they were going to be for sale. I'm not sure.
Mr. Hannigan, they're single-family homes for sale, but still, as I understand it, under a homeowners association.
Yeah, the homeowners association will be set up they basically would run with the land. So that would cover the 3 lots. The 3 lots would be involved with those 3, with the aspects of that homeowners association for the maintenance of the drainage system.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it's not relative to rental or for sale. It doesn't matter who owns it. Whoever owns that land
Yes.
has to provide the maintenance. One other thing on comment number 4 or condition number 4, I think I just got to go back to where I was. Just for clarity, I think it needs to state that any building construction, before the beginning of any building construction,
Okay, rather than,
because the site construction we're doing as part of the fill slopes, et cetera, and the bulk grading.
okay, so actually that's number 3. To minimize the potential of erosion, the stabilization of the site slope shall begin before any building construction. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think you have it on number 4, it says dwelling construction.
It says dwelling construction, but we can add
that's
building
okay.
to 3.
All right, I might not have the most up-to-date one in my email. Is there a way that you could bring that up on the screen so I can see what?
I don't have the most up-to-date one. Joyce, do you?
Okay. It's not, everything else sounded fine. I should just admit that.
All right, so, and I'm fine, I don't have a problem adding building. You can work with Herlyn when she's working on writing up the order if this is approved as to which item we want to clarify building, and
Okay.
if it's 3 or 4. And Herlyn, we can make that adjustment. I think it's item 3, but that you'll work with them as far as that. That's okay. Do we have any other, Commissioner Wallace, any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
This peer review, it indicates under the last bullet point, loam and seed. Is there someone that will keep track of that, see that it's maintained?
Yes, well, the order of condition lasts for 3 years. So they will not get their certificate of compliance until we feel that, until Herlyn reviews that and sees that everything is established within that 3-year period. Does that
Yes.
answer that? Okay. I think I'm good. Commissioner Christian, any other questions on your side?
No, it sounds fine. You know, all the additional comments from the peer review have been answered or met. I'm fine with that.
Okay, very good. So then, hearing none at this time, if there are no other questions, no other discussion, I'm going to close the hearing for 0 Mechanic Street, lots 1, 2, and 3, and we will move to deliberations. And
Through the chair, if I may, you need to actually take a vote to close the hearing.
okay, let's do that then, so we have that for the
You
record.
need a motion and a second and then a vote, sorry.
Okay. Can I have a motion and a second to close the hearing for, in this case, we've been reviewing lots 1 through and 3. I'll take a motion in a second.
So a motion to accept the conditions at lots 1, 2, and 3 Mechanic Street?
Well, no, we're just closing the hearing first, and then we'll deliberate and then vote on motions to accept.
Motions to close the hearing on
Okay.
Mechanic Street, lots 1, 2, and 3.
Do I have a second? Okay. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
And Commissioner Jacobs, aye. Thank you. And now we will move to deliberations. And if I may, I think we have done our due diligence on this project. We got the peer review. This has been incorporated into the revised plans. And I know at this point, I am prepared to move forward with issuing orders of conditions on these lots. So we will start for comment. Commissioner Pelletier?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I'm good. I was happy to see the collaboration between both engineering companies, so it looks good to me.
Okay. Commissioner Wallace?
Same.
Commissioner Christian, any comment before we go to a motion?
No, the only thing I would like to reinforce is that, to Mr. Hannigan and the applicant is that with some of these projects going forward, because of the complexity, you have to understand that we're going to be asking for a peer review more and more often. So I understand that takes time, and I think having the material come the day of the meeting, it just wasn't possible to move forward that night. Going forward, I don't know if I'm a big advocate for having special meetings. I can see special meetings if we have a violation and you're dealing with that one only person. But when you have a special meeting and you have abutters that have been interested, and I've been in my own personal life involved with that, special meetings, because of the time of it and the time of day, limits the time that your abutters can show up. So I think in the future, when we have peer reviews, whether or not, if Herlin wants to stay with that 14-day time limit, if we don't get the material, then rather than a special meeting during work hours, we push it off till the next month. I understand it's a big inconvenience and time is money, but also I have a lot of sympathy when there are involvement of abutters. But as far as this project, I think, everything the peer review asked for was answered, so I'm good with that. Thank you.
Commissioner Christian, thank you for your comment, and duly noted. And I think we did discuss this at our last week's meeting, that going forward, the 2-week meeting material is going to apply. If we don't get it ahead of time, unfortunately, everybody is going to need to wait, including us. We're trying to move things along, so hopefully that will address concerns and stay on a regular schedule. All meeting materials have to be in 2 weeks prior to the meeting before we move forward, and hopefully eliminate special meetings of this type. Thank you very much for your comment. There being no other comment at this point, I would like to take now each lot one at a time, and we will move to vote on each one individually, as a notice of intent was filed on each lot. Let's take lot number 1, 0 Mechanic Street. The plan that we are voting on is labeled D3-13, dated 11/15/24 and amended 4/2/25. I would be looking for a motion to approve an order of condition with our standard special conditions, additional special conditions, perpetual conditions, and findings. And this would be Lot 1, DEP number 1550755. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve all the conditions.
Second, anyone?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Let me call the roll. Commissioner Christian, Lot 1.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarawat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs, aye. Lot 1 has been approved. Now we move to notice of intent for Lot 2. Again, 0 Mechanic Street, Plan D3-13 dated 11/15/24, amended 4/2/25. This is Lot 2, Mass DEP number 1550756, again with standard special conditions, additional special perpetual conditions and findings. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion to approve Mechanic Street Lot 2 on all the conditions noted.
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarawat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
And Commissioner Jacobs, aye. And finally on the docket today, again, this is notice of intent for Lot 3, Plan D3-13 dated 11/15/24, amended 4/2/25. Motion on the floor to approve order of condition with standard special conditions or additional conditions as detailed, perpetual conditions and findings for Lot 3, DEP number 1550757. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve Mechanic Street Lot 3 under all the conditions noted.
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarawat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
And Commissioner Jacobs, aye. That also is approved. And Mr. Hannigan, Mr. Adams, thank you very much. There being no other business on...
Just one question.
Sure,
Is the
Mr.
issuance
Hannigan, go
date-
ahead.
Is the issuance date today?
No.
We can send someone over to pick it up.
No, the issuance date is not today,
Okay. Do you know when that would be, or?
Friday. So I have to put
Okay.
everything together and then get signatures
Okay,
because
that's
we
fair.
have a remote attendee.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Mr. Hannigan, just in case, if anything comes up so that Herlin, I mean, we have 21 days to get an order out. So if for some reason or other something comes up and it's not done by Friday, Herlin will notify you when the order is ready to be picked
Yeah.
up.
I would just check and let my client know. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, if we have no other business, can I have a motion to adjourn until our regular meeting of May 7th, 2025 at 6 p.m.? Motion in a second?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And let me call the roll. Commissioner Christian,
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier,
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarawat,
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace,
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs, aye. Thank you very much, everyone. We are adjourned.